Thanks for joining us anywhere around the world and here in Nigeria. This is Nationwide. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. The Senate has commended the gallantry of Nigerian security personnel in curbing security breaches in the northeast and urges sustained efforts at tackling insurgency by establishing a military base in Hong local government area of Adamawa State. This was in response to a matter of urgent importance raised by Senator Iya Abbas, co-sponsored by other senators from the northeast, which highlighted recurring attacks by insurgents on communities, noting that prompt reinforcements would prevent further attacks.
Reinforcement to the existing personnel of the Nigerian Army and also other security agencies.
Senate has passed for second reading bill that seeks issuance of licenses and monitoring of private employment agencies in the country and refers the bill to Senate Committee on Labor and Employment for further legislative action. Still on security matters, in a move reflecting the federal government's commitment to strengthening internal security and modernizing the Nigeria police force, the Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, has taken stock of 7 brand new armored personnel carriers. Correspondent Francis Form reports that the inspection is part of the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration, aimed at repositioning the Nigeria police force through strategic investments in operational assets and logistics.
These APCs you are seeing now, we bought them from our budgetary allocation of the ministry. We are going to hand over them to the Nigerian police force to enhance their security strengths so that they can perform better. They are supposed to use this professionally to combat insecurity in the country.
The minister further assures all that the acquisition and deployment of the armored personnel carriers signal a significant step towards operational readiness and mobility for tactical units of the Nigeria Police Force, especially in high-risk zones. Now, the House of Representatives has asked the Federal Ministry of Finance and relevant agencies to expedite payment of palliatives approved by the Tinubu administration for federal pensioners. The resolution follows the adoption of a motion highlighting the plight of pensioners who have been awaiting the payment of the palliative awards since it was announced in 2023.
President Ahmed Tinubu in October 2023 approved a 25,000 naira wage award, palliative and additional 32,000 naira pension increase for federal pensioners in Nigeria. All the Federal Ministry of Finance to release all withheld palliative measures and ensure timely disbursement to alleviate the sufferings of pensioners.
How can you keep palliatives from Nigerian people that has been approved? If we do an investigation and we act on it and let some heads roll, that will serve as a deterrent for others.
2 weeks, we make sure this motion and the prayers of this motion is implemented so that our pensioners can get what is their due.
In another resolution, the House canvassed for rehabilitation of the Barrow Inland Port in Niger State to facilitate economic growth and development.
The completion of the Barrow physical infrastructure, development of basic equipment, and its commissioning in 2019, the port remains non-operational due to infrastructure and logistical challenges, including poor access roads, railway connectivity, and the absence of a comprehensive operational framework.
Elsewhere, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Kebbi State have declared their unwavering support for President Bola Tinubu's administration, citing its continued developmental programs and projects that are positively impacting the lives of the masses in the state. Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa reports.
This is not the first time stakeholders of All Progressive Congress, APC, are convening this kind of meeting, especially with the defection of 3 senators from People's Democratic Party, PDP, to APC to discuss progress, challenges, and prospects of the party in Kebbi State.
By God's grace, I know there is not going to be opposition in Kebbi State. Even if there is opposition, that opposition will be overshadowed by us.
I am appealing with all our party members, male and females, those who reach the required age to register electronically in our party once it is started. We don't expect any segregation. Everyone should be treated equally for the progress of the party.
Governor Nasir Idris also inaugurated the Tinubu Kaura 2 times group, saddled with the responsibility of ensuring President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Nasir Idris are returned elected come 2027. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates British Nigerians Okpeyemi Bright and Jason Jackson on their historic inauguration as mayors in London. Bright became the civic mayor of Barking and Dagenham, while Jackson took over as mayor of Islington. The president praises their dedication to public service and community well-being, noting the achievements inspire young people in Nigeria and the diaspora. Bright's appointment at 29 years is notable following 7 years of community service. Jackson's rapid rise through local government is equally impressive. President Tinubu expresses confidence in their abilities, urging them to excel in their roles. The achievements highlight the growing influence of Nigerians in the diaspora, contributing positively to their communities. The president looks forward to their impact in their respective boroughs. The African Raw Materials Summit brought together researchers, industrialists, policymakers, investors, and government agencies with stakeholders in the raw materials sector from Africa. It was to share, build partnerships, as well as chart course on ways African nations can add value to their raw materials for industrial development and sustainable economic growth.
Africa shall no longer be the warehouse of raw potential, but the workshop of refined prosperity. This summit is our moment where Africa reclaims its narrative, redefines its destiny, and rededicates itself to transforming raw wealth into real wealth from the soil beneath our feet through the journeys within our people.
For the second time, I've heard the DG talk about a bill before the National Assembly on the need to add value of at least 30% to our raw materials before they are exported. Raw materials are the fuel that continues to contribute to any country's industrial growth and development.
In this generation, we don't want to export raw material anymore. We want to make finished products here in Africa, because I genuinely believe that the promise of Africa can only happen through value addition and export of finished products and not raw material.
With the theme, From Extraction to Innovation, Transforming Africa's Raw Materials Sector, the event was designed to catalyze sustainable development of Africa's vast raw materials resources, which would help shape the future of the industries and promote sustainable economic growth. A one-day sensitization seminar on revised export guidelines for crude oil and gas exports organized by the Federal Ministry of Finance has held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The seminar is in collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria and Technical Committee on the Nigeria Export Supervision Scheme. Emmanuel Lene reports.
It's endowed with rich resources such as crude oil and gas, which form the bulk of our export. However, billions of dollars are lost daily due to inconsistent policies, uncoordinated processes, and procedures. The sensitization seminar is to enlighten exporters, regulators, agents, and other stakeholders on the revised 2017 export guidelines, procedures, on documentation requirements. The seminar was a platform for knowledge sharing, policy clarification, and enhancing ease of doing business to meet international standards.
The ongoing review will address the unique characteristics of the sector, ensure the integration of key stakeholders in the export process, and will define the roles of relevant NTAs as well as documentation protocols.
We normally do this sensitization program every year so as to address challenges and then way forward and to meet up with international standards of export.
The repatriation, the next levy, the process of exporting, they are very important in export sector.
Experts presented papers on documentation procedures and processes, while stakeholders shared their challenges.
We have not been granted access to any terminal. One of the main reasons for us to track gas exports is to be able to understand the amount of gas leaving the shores of Nigeria. We also need to understand how much is expected to come into Nigeria in terms of repatriation.
The seminar helped improve stakeholders' understanding of critical operational gaps across the export value chain. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Elene, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has approved contracts for the provisions of more critical infrastructure within the nation's capital city. The 2.6 billion naira contract approval was granted during the 14th FCT Exco meeting, which held at the minister's official residence at the Life Camp, Abuja. Onoze Yakubu has the details.
Contract for the upgrade of obsolete street lights on the Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway, otherwise known as Ring Road 1, and the construction of one block of magistrate court in the Maitama district, as well as the provision of pedestrian access control at interchanges, are among other projects that received the approval of the FCT ESCO.
The street light there have been there for close to 15 years now. The project was completed around 2005 or 6, and the lights have become obsolete. They are no more bright, and new technology have come for the street lighting.
Also seek and got approval for the extension of service contracts for the provision of solid waste collection and management services for 40 delegated districts in FCT.
19 memos were examined, critically examined, and approved under the watch of the Honorable Minister.
The 14th FCT ESCO meeting was chaired by the FCT Minister Yeson Wiki. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, by the close of today, over 33,000 Nigerian pilgrims would have arrived Saudi Arabia for the 2025 Hajj after over 80 flights, representing over 79%, as more states complete the airlift of remaining pilgrims ahead of NACON's May 24 scheduled completion date. Correspondent Tokbe Alabi has an update on this.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has successfully airlifted 32,549 pilgrims, representing 79.1% of the total pilgrims for the 2025 Hajj exercise. This development was achieved through 79 flights operated since the commencement of the airlift operations on May 9, 2025. Many states have concluded their airlift operations, including Adamawa and Plateau, those with one flight only to complete their operations this Wednesday include Bauchi and Gombe states. Jigawa State and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, are also expected to complete their pilgrim airlift this Wednesday, as Kwara State, with 137 pilgrims remaining, will conclude by joining a Kano Max Air flight Wednesday afternoon. Meanwhile, Benue pilgrims will join pilgrims from the south-south section to undertake a combined and only flight from the region on May 23rd, marking the last phase of the airlift for the area. NACON's chairman, Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman, in a release by the Assistant Director, Information and Publication, Fatima Sanda Uzara, noted No flight cancellation have been recorded since the airlift began, but however, amidst deliberate minor delays were arranged to allow for the proper cleanup and the congestion of hotels in Medina, especially with the surge in arrivals. Such cleanup procedures, according to the release, are standard operational procedures following vacation of rooms during the Hajj season, saying this goes unnoticed during initial airlift periods, but cause misinterpretations at peak periods when a higher number of pilgrims are on the ground requiring immediate turnover. NACON acknowledges the Nigerian pilgrims and entire communities for their goodwill, patience and prayers, and reaffirm the Commission's resolve to ensure a smooth Hajj for every pilgrim. Talk by Alabi, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on Nigerians to always celebrate the nation's cultural richness, listen with empathy and lead with understanding. She made the call in a message marking this year's World Day for Cultural Diversity and Dialogue and Development, and highlights the profound strength that lies in the country's differences as a people and the shared humanity that connects them all, while noting that Nigeria is blessed with over 250 ethnic groups, each speaking a different language. The First Lady says there is indeed strength in diversity and expresses the hope that through our dialogue, interactions and mutual respect, Nigerians find true identity and unity. She therefore calls on Nigerians to embrace their journey together and shape a brighter future for the nation and the world. Now we go over to Benin, which is our first stop on Nationwide, and Obehi has the next set of reports.
Many thanks for joining us here in Benin City. Custodians of historical monuments have commemorated the 2025 International Museums Day in Benin City as part of a worldwide event honoring the role of museums in a modern society. This year's theme, The Future of Museums in Rapidly Changing Communities, underscores how these institutions can evolve while preserving a cultural heritage. Good luck, Inaini tells us more.
This year's International Museum Day celebration held at the National Museum Benin City, graced by dignitaries, cultural custodians, educators, and students. Organized by the National Commission for Museum and Monuments, the event brought together key stakeholders to reflect on the evolving role of museums in modern society, with a special focus
to make sure that we promote our culture and enlighten the youth, for them to know so that the culture will not die in our time.
Is to showcase our heritage, because Nigeria and Edo State at large is embedded with a lot of history.
It's like a Christmas day for the museum, where you showcase the heritage of your people.
The event featured vibrant cultural displays by students. Beyond the festivities, key discussions were held on the urgent need to preserve Edo culture, particularly the historic Benin moat and walls dug nearly 800 years ago to protect the ancient kingdom.
Edo State government should look inwards and see how they can develop on, especially the moats on Edo State.
A law has been proscribed by the museum or Natural Museum, but they are not keeping to it.
As museums adapt to modern realities, the message from Benin City is clear progress must not come at the cost of heritage, a call to protect the past while embracing the future. In Benin, good luck in any NTA News.
Management of National Films and Video Censors Board, Edo State, has paid a courtesy visit on the management of NTA Benin Zonal Network Center. They seek collaboration and partnership in the fight against uncensored negative influence of movies that are detrimental to children and the society at large. Udakobong Achibong reports.
The head of the board, Fred Elahe, said to address the various challenges in the movie industry, they have gradually moved from censorship of movies to classification of movies in accordance with global best practices with the aim of monitoring the airwaves for unapproved jingles, musical videos, and movies. He is emphatic that the partnership with NTA will fast-track their mandate to engage all stakeholders in the fight against pornography, internet misuse, and social vices among vulnerable young ones.
In Edo State, our mandate is to ensure, as we are a largely cultural state, that movies conform with all legal laws to encourage and increase the cinema culture and to educate our young and vulnerable about the dangers of uncensored and unclassified movies.
The Zonal Director, NTA Benin Network Center, Teni Ajayi, said NTA's gatekeeping role is unprecedented, giving her assurance of the station's readiness to partner the censorship board to sanitize the society.
I'm inviting you, please come on board. Let's have your jingles. Let's get resource persons from your establishment so that from time to time we will educate the public on the dangers or the implication of not regulating what our youths are watching.
They presented a book on regulating Nollywood. They also revealed the 7 classification numbers and symbols of movies designed for all ages of the viewing public. In Benin, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with IODG in Abuja right after this break.
You're welcome back. Now is the time to rid the Nigerian society of the menace of drug abuse, and that's why Kwara State government has embarked on a mandatory drug tests for about 13,000 newly admitted students of the Kwara State University. The drug test is an initiative meant to discourage substance abuse amongst students and also to rehabilitate those who are already hooked so that they can become useful members of the society. Shola Wahid reports that the state government previously conducted the same tests for newly employed lecturers and teachers.
The case of drug abuse becomes more worrisome to stakeholders in the Nigerian society. The Kwara State government has embarked on a massive drug test for newly admitted students of the state higher institutions, beginning from the Kwara State University, KWASU, to COP devices.
I wasn't afraid because I'm not doing drugs. So it was just simple. We asked to urinate in a cup and they conduct the test. And when it came out, I was negative.
Me personally, I'm not afraid of the drug test because I feel like I'm going to pass the drug test. So all students are assured that the highest that would happen after the test is just to be in the rehabilitation center. There's no such thing as expulsion or something like that.
With this drug test, the hope is that those who have been exposed to drug test, to illicit substance use, would be counseled and made to see the need to stop. Most likely we'll be able to capture these young ones, counsel them appropriately, and that way protect the ones who are not yet exposed to things like that.
At the recently concluded teachers' recruitment by the Kwara State Teaching Service Commission, 8 intending teachers failed the drug test.
These people were given the appointment based on the merit. They are ranked based on the highest score. In the process of conducting the test, we discover 8 good people, and sincerely speaking, they lose their appointment.
The move by the state government is geared towards having a sane and secure society. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And now we connect with Shola Wahid out there to give us more information on this initiative by the government of Kwara State to rid the society of use of hard substance. So Shola, naturally, when students gain admission into the university, they're supposed to be in high spirits, but unfortunately, some of them have taken into something else that is making them lose focus. Tell us more about it.
Well, what is actually happening now is because the menace of drug is becoming rampant in the society. Recently, secondary schools in Ilorin faced each other and they fought. And the state government had to close the schools for some few days. Now, the effect of this is that the young students have been exposed to substances, and parents are not aware because most of the substances that they use are not the ones that are very common. They can engage in cough syrup, they can engage in tramadol, and when they do this, they slip off. The effect is so much in them that once when the parents open their door, see their children sleeping, they will not know that they are already under the influence of drug. These are many more. Made the state governor to key into the fact that they must conduct drug tests, not even at the university level, but at those who are seeking to gain employment from the state government. Recently, the TESCOM, that is Teaching Service Commission of Kwara State, conducted examination for various incoming teachers. 1,800 teachers were taken, but out of these 1,800 teachers, 8 of them failed drug test. And it was so glaring in them that they couldn't go out there to teach students. Now, coming to KWASU here, I am at one of the satellite campuses. The students were taken, those who are admitted as students were tested. Some of them, in fact, some of them really actually failed the test. But the hope for them is that they are going to be rehabilitated over the years that they are in school. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Shola, it's interesting to know that there are efforts to also rehabilitate those who failed the drug test right there at Kwara State University, and also to screen out elements who are really deep-rooted in the act of substance abuse. Thanks so much for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Back here in Abuja, Nigeria's digital economic landscape is expanding, with experts taking up the task of improving literacy among the populace. This was the highlight of an exposition by the Digital Bridge Institute to prepare Nigerians for trends in digital economic realities. Emerging trends in digital economy are impacting on the dynamics of productivity around the world in every facet. The Digital Bridge Institute, Nigeria's foremost ICT capacity building center, is aware of these threats. Hence, this forum, preparing today's workforce for tomorrow's markets.
DBI occupies the digital literacy arm of the digital economy, and you cannot have digital economy without having skilled people working in that economy.
Experts here analyzed the problems and proffered solutions, including self-development in digital skills and migration from degree-based to skill-based employment in private and public sectors.
50% of all employees will need reskilling due to the adoption of new technologies and the evolving nature of work. In the ICT sector, this figure would even be higher due to the rapid automation and emerging cybersecurity threats.
Brace yourself for this. This is a very powerful shift that is going to knock on every door, youthful and otherwise, into digital opportunity.
Nigeria's median population age is 17 years. As this grows into the future, the DBI assures of engagement with the youthful population through strategic programs like the 3 Million Tech Talents, 3MTT, and Make Nigeria a net exporter of digitally trained talents. In Abuja, stakeholders in the education sector have identified the need for governments to pay greater attention to effective implementation of educational policies and programs as part of measures towards enhancing standard of education in the country. Correspondent Beatrice Aniyam reports.
Education remains the bedrock of any society as it aids the actualization of potentials and brings about sustainable progress. However, the performance of students, particularly in external examinations, is generating concerns among stakeholders.
Important is concentration on the teachers to make sure that they give their best.
Seriousness from the youth, the general tendency to get rich quick has made education not a priority to them.
Anyone who has gone through the 4 walls of a university should be able to come out with either employable skills or something you can start off and employ others.
The way out is to sit down, look at our resources, look at what we need, and draw up curricula that will talk about how we can make use of our resources in our environment and improve on our lives.
Education has come. We should not throw it away.
Indigenous education is there. Let us now place them side by side. Then take what is good from the western part of the world. Throw away what is bad in theirs. Take what is good from us. Throw away what is bad in us. And then merge the two we have got. And then become very strong to compete with the Committee of Nations.
In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
All right, from Owerri, let's cross over to the food basket of the nation. And that's in Makurdi Network Center, where Charles will take it up from here.
Welcome to Makurdi. Let's begin with health matters, where the Impact Project for maternal and child health programs is to receive a boost to enable the initiative to meet its target of delivering quality healthcare services to the people of the state. Governor Hassan Talia gave the assurance when he played host to the delegation of the Impact Project, who were on a periodic assessment visit to Benue State. Elias Itia reports.
The Impact Project, a World Bank-assisted program, is aimed at providing quality healthcare services in areas such as testing for malaria, postnatal care, skill-based delivery, full immunization, and many other healthcare challenges. Team leader of the project, Onoriode Ezire, explained that the team is in the state to ascertain progress, identify challenges, and proffer solutions to the issues.
For the 9 indicators that the project is tracking, Benue State is far below targeting all of them. And this is not all connected with 3 critical things that the state has not been able to do.
Deputy Governor Dr. Sam Ode, who represented his principal, pledged that the state will do everything possible to ensure that the funds are accessed and put into judicious use for the benefit of the people. He insisted that the project will be closely monitored to ensure quality assurance and scale up counterfeit funding as well as staff strength in the health sector.
I am quite alarmed that the key indicators you have just raised here is of great concern to me and to all of us who are stakeholders. I'm going to ensure that we eliminate all those negative indicators and place this program where it ought to be in various states.
He disclosed that 172 primary healthcare centers will be upgraded and equipped to meet up with the Impact Project targets. In Makurdi, Elias, ETF, NTA News.
In a related development, over 1,000 residents of Akile community in Fidi Council Ward, Makurdi local government area, have benefited from a free medical outreach organized by the headquarters, Tactical Air Command, Nigeria Air Force, Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that the gesture is part of activities commemorating the Nigeria Air Force at 61.
Akile community in Fidi Council Ward of Makurdi local government area is located 15 kilometers away from the state capital. It is to strengthen civil-military relations and improve access to health care that the Nigerian Air Force organized the free medical outreach.
The medical outreach is very fine, and they have already started it. Like me, the drugs I'm holding here is for high BP. Now I want to see eye clinic.
Some surgical conditions may require further treatment at our base hospital. These individuals will be carefully sorted out. Appointment will be given and a date will be fixed for them to have their surgeries.
Chief of Staff, Headquarters Tactical Air Command, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Idris, who stood in for the Air Officer Commanding Air Vice Marshal Patrick Obeya, says the Nigerian Air Force will continue to carry out its core responsibility of protecting lives and property of Nigerians.
I am particularly happy to mention that this kind gesture will further enhance our corporate social responsibility to our host communities. Additionally, Headquarters Tactical Air Command will continue to support Akile community, the entire Fidi Council Ward, and Benue State at large in the area of internal security operations in every way humanly possible.
The free medical outreach, which is part of activities commemorating Nigerian Air Force at 61, includes consultations, screenings, eye check, deworming of children below 5, and distribution of long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
The size of our contribution from Makurdi at the moment, Ayodeji, is back to you.
Oh yes, thanks so much, Charles in Makurdi. This is Nationwide. Let's pause for some messages. I'll be back shortly. You're welcome back from that break. It's time now to join Diba Bari in our Port Harcourt Network Center. And Diba Bari, take it up from here.
Port Harcourt. Nigerian Navy Ship Pathfinder Port Harcourt has held a medical outreach as part of its corporate social responsibility to mark the Nigerian Navy 69th anniversary. Kingsley Amajiri was at Rumo Lumeni Community, venue of the medical outreach, and reports that over 1,500 people benefited from the medical outreach.
Ahead of the commemoration of Nigerian Navy at 69, the NNS Pathfinder is reaching out to its host community, Rumo Lumini. This is a non-kinetic approach by the naval authorities to enhance civil-military relations and in turn strengthen mutual ties between the Navy and members of the community. The medical rhapsody is part of Nigerian Navy broad mandate, which extends beyond safeguarding Nigeria's waterways and national assets to ensuring health, safety, and development of the populace.
Health remains a powerful tool for personal and community growth. This brings to the fore the importance of the Nigerian Navy places on corporate social responsibility. As we all know, giving back to society is the only essence of our existence.
The traditional rulers, women, and other beneficiaries were happy with the health value the Nigerian Navy is creating for the community inhabitants.
We are a community that welcome the Navy Pathfinder. We are cooperating hand to hand, and the commanders, both the past and the present ones that is coming here, are trying.
As I really receive it now, I know that I'm going to use it, so at least I'll protect myself with my children from mosquito.
The medical rhapsody provided services such as BP checks, hepatitis, malaria, blood sugar tests, free consultation, and health talk. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Federal government's policy on introduction of 15 skills into the curriculum of primary and secondary schools appears yet to be domiciled in Rivers State. The initiative is to equip students with practical skills along with academic studies, preparing them for a future in a competitive society. Ijoma Ogweke reports.
Over the years, skills acquisition has become a veritable tool towards development of young school leavers who may be aspiring to become entrepreneurs. Having skills that are in high demand can quickly transform the lives of young entrepreneurs from dependents or job seekers to employers of labor. Harmony Asawa is a young graduate who has acquired practical skills in making throw pillows for home decorations. She is optimistic that money she makes from the business will significantly shape her future prospects.
This throw pillow, truth be told, it gives money if you give it attention, because for now, we are selling one throw pillow for 5,000.
As vocational and technical education are a major foundation of modern and industrialized nations, the federal government is directing attention to development of the subsector of education by the introduction of 15 skills in primary and junior secondary schools. Is expected to help students have some time on their hands to specialize in their chosen trades.
The school acquisition will be introduced. It will go a long way to helping these students. We also write our junior WAEC. And after that junior WAEC, the students will wait for the result to be released before they will go for the senior. While they are waiting, they can do something.
Last time we did apron, most of them did apron, they did throw pillow, they took them away. By this week, we are starting with the liquid soap.
A lot of things that can help us before we enter the university. Like right now, I'm about to make soap, bleach.
In some of the schools visited, they are in high spirits to welcome the policy as it will be of great impact to the students in Port Harcourt. Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. It's back to Ayo Deji for the rest of the news.
Thanks, Dibabari. Now, devastated by years of communal war which left Effium and Eza-Effium communities without basic amenities including a hospital, the 2 Women Battalion Ukwego military cantonment has taken free medical outreach to the area with over 200 indigents benefiting. Correspondent Fortunate also captured the excitement.
The mood was that of utmost happiness that years of absence of medical care due to the war that left their communities in shambles has finally come to an end. More so with the free medical care spearheaded by the commanding officer, 2 Women Battalion, Nkwego Military Cantonment, Abakaliki, Lieutenant Colonel Arogundade, on behalf of the General Officer Commanding 82 Division, Major General Olatoye.
Because of the crisis where we have here now, that is why there's no any hospital here is working.
Today that these people came, we are happy for them with it.
We are be crying many days for what we are seeing here.
The commanding officer, 2 Women Battalion, Nkwego Military Cantonment, Abakaliki, Lieutenant Colonel Arogundade said the gesture, which is part of building civil-military relationship in the area, is also aimed at supporting the peace initiatives of the state government.
There are kinetic and non-kinetic means to actually tackle issues, and these are one of the ways civil-military cooperation, and this is geared towards winning the hearts and mind of the people of the civil populace within the Effium community. And also recently the executive governor of the state flagged off the demarcation of the warring communities, and it stated that that should be the beginning of peace. So we actually keyed into that.
The outreach featured health talk on different health issues, free medical checks, as well as the distribution of drugs, insecticidal treated nets, among others. In Abakaliki, Fortunate Ozo, NTA News.
From Abakaliki to Lagos State, where the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has taken a significant step towards addressing the state's housing shortage with the inauguration of 442 new homes. Joy Ken Abakboya reports that the housing project is tagged the Greater Lagos Housing Projects.
The Greater Lagos Housing Projects comprises 21 blocks of 378 apartment units at Lawansin and 64 units of 4-bedroom maisonettes at Iponri, both in the Surulere area of Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the initiative, geared towards providing decent homes for Lagosians, is a reflection of the state government's dedication to inclusivity, modern infrastructure, and community development.
And so with the opening of these new homes, we are unlocking potentials, we are unlocking opportunities, we are giving fresh starts to people that believe they do not have a future. We're giving you an opportunity to know that in Lagos, you have a future.
The housing projects, the Lagos State Commissioner for Housing, Maruf Akindeju Fatai, says will create jobs, boost local businesses, and stimulate economic growth.
In the housing sector today, under your leadership, we are on 22, and we still have about 4 coming very soon. We are not only serving the low-income man. We are in Badagry, we are in Epe, and we are also in the Ikorodu. As we speak, we are in Egongodo, and Mr. Governor has given us all the cooperation.
The new housing estates, executed through a public-private partnership, brings the total number of housing projects executed by the Governor Sanwo-Olu-led administration to 22. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
And for more reports from the Center of Excellence, Hingino, in our Lagos Network Center, we'll take it up from here.
Thank you, Ayodeji, and welcome to Lagos. 150 years after the introduction of the meter, its impact is still being felt with a direct bearing on metrology, which is critical in providing a framework for calibrating and standardizing measurement instruments to ensure alignment with international standards. In view of this, the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, gathered key players in Lagos to discuss ways of improving metrology in Nigeria. Imagine the havoc that can be caused by incorrect measurement. The impact may be minimal or extreme, but whatever the case may be, avoiding such mistakes is paramount. That is why metrology, the science of measurement, is crucial as it ensures accuracy, reliability, and fairness in all sectors. These experts from various walks of life are here to deliberate on issues surrounding the integrity of measurement in Nigeria.
Metrology plays a key role for environmental monitoring, which provides the precise measurements needed to monitor air quality, water purity, soil protection, setbacks in.
Good talk about the hospital. They will need to check you very well. If the equipment are not functioning well, then of course you get a wrong prescription. Talk about the aviation industry. If the navigation equipment in the pilot's deck is faulty, what happened? Crash is imminent.
Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, says the organization will continue to ensure that all products meet required standards.
All products that are developed or manufactured in Nigeria, we must set the standards and we also must enforce it.
The consensus here is that all stakeholders should ensure accuracy to avoid disasters. That's it from here. It's now back to Ayodeji in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Thanks for your contribution, Hingino. The federal government, through the National Senior Citizens Center, NSCC, is currently training the second batch of multidisciplinary team from the academia and other disciplines under the Quality Assurance Assessor Certification in Geriatric Social Care Program. Elizabeth Omori reports that the Director General of NSCC, Dr. Omokaro, says this is to ensure that caregivers are providing quality care to the aged population in the country.
The training is to facilitate the development of certified quality assessors and build a competent, skilled workforce within the geriatric sector in line with the renewed vigor to promote social well-being of the aging population. This is expected to aid understanding of the policy guidelines, national occupational standards, and national benchmark for accreditation of care settings and training centers to drive quality care.
After this training, they are supposed to go to the field, then practice what they have learned here. They are going to assess some learners in that area of expertise that they are experts in as well, where they are competent. So they now do the practice of how to make the assessment, and then we certify them.
They are further, opening the area for people to be well trained, to have assessors on all these 36 states.
Director General of NSCC, Dr. Omokaro, insists that the training will drive standardization, transfer knowledge to care facility operators and families, as well as change the narrative about aging.
What we have done now is to get the database of everybody that is in this space as much as we can get. So we have a platform that we have most geriatric social care, actors. And then gradually we are building capacity, because first and foremost they must understand what this shift means. They must understand, what standards we are looking at.
She also hinted that a portal will be designed to make information available to critical stakeholders in geriatric care. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
National Sports Commission takes tough stance against doping at the Gateway Games in Ogun State, plus other stories in the world of sports. Let's join Austin Ademodu.
The National Sports Commission has warned that no athlete or state will be spared in the war against doping at the ongoing National Sports Festival in Ogun State. The Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olokpade, sounded the warning following the disqualification of 6 athletes over anti-doping rules violations. He further disclosed that more athletes are likely to be sanctioned in coming days.
Because at the meeting today with heads of delegation, we are going to impose fines on states that brought them. And if they don't pay for those particular sports that they try to win, they will not participate.
Away from the National Sports Festival, the Prosperity Cup in Bayelsa State continues to spring surprises and produce quality football at the grassroots as more teams advance to the business ends of the tournament. City Boy FC, Nembe City, Sangana FC, amongst others, have progressed into the round of 16.
The game between Oyuma FC of Southern Ejo and Otuosiga, it was an exciting game. To see young ones play so professionally, it's exciting that there is a lot of hope that this competition will give birth to players that will make the state proud and our country proud.
Finally, football fans are in much anticipation of an epic showdown as Tottenham Hotspur take on Manchester United and an all-English duel of the UEFA Europa League final in Bilbao tonight. Both clubs are currently placed 16th and 17th on the English Premier League log and will be hoping to redeem their woeful season by winning an European trophy. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide. I'd like to thank you for your time. I'm Ayodeji Makinde.